My aunt smirked and said I wasn't invited for a reason. They'd already split everything. What they didn't know was that the lawyer had waited for me to arrive. Can you imagine walking into a room where your own family has literally conspired to exclude you, only for a lawyer to drop a bomb that changes everything? Actually, he said, cutting through their smug, self-satisfied silence. Her name is the only one listed in the will. My world, and theirs, just imploded. That day, I learned the most heartbreaking betrayals often come not from enemies, but from the very people who are supposed to be your family. Their greed wasn't just about money. It was about tearing down every memory, every connection I held dear. My name is Chloe Adams, and at 28, I never expected my life to turn into a family battlefield. The air in my small apartment still felt heavy with grief after my beloved Grandma Beatrice passed last month. She'd been sick for a long time, but losing her still left a gaping hole. Then the universe delivered a fresh punch to the gut. A text message, sent accidentally by my cousin Emily, that confirmed my deepest fear. I was being deliberately excluded from Grandma's while reading. A knot of dread tightened in my stomach, but a stubborn resolve took root. I had to go. I arrived at the lawyer's office, walking into a scene already thick with tension. My Aunt Brenda, with a triumphant smirk that made my skin crawl, declared, "We already divided everything. You weren't invited for a reason." My heart sank, but before I could even formulate a response, the lawyer, Mr. Caldwell, frowned, looking utterly bewildered. "But her name," he said, his voice cutting through the smug silence, "is the only one in the will." The room went dead silent, the kind of silence that screams. Let me tell you a bit about how I ended up in that room. Growing up, I was the daughter of Grandma Beatrice's youngest son, David. It wasn't always easy, but Dad made sure my childhood was happy. He was the family rebel, choosing to be a high school teacher instead of joining the family investment firm. My mom, Michelle, a dedicated nurse, and Dad raised me with values centered on helping others, not chasing wealth. Every Sunday, we'd make the pilgrimage to Grandma Beatrice's grand Victorian house in Boston's historic district, a beautiful relic echoing with generations of our family stories. Then, when I was just 12, everything shattered. My father died suddenly of an aneurysm. Mom struggled, both emotionally and financially. Grandma Beatrice stepped in, a force of nature. "Chloe will live with me part of the week," she announced, brooking no argument. For the next 6 years, I split my time between Mom's modest apartment and Grandma's house. While Mom worked double shifts, Grandma became my second parent. "You're like me, Chloe," she'd tell me as we sat in her sprawling garden. "You see people for who they are, not what they can give you." Her words, simple yet profound, shaped me more than she ever knew. Grandma Beatrice wasn't your typical wealthy widow. She wore simple clothes, volunteered at soup kitchens, and quietly funded causes she believed in. That grand house was her one indulgence, a home filled with memories, not a display of wealth. My Uncle Arthur and Aunt Brenda never understood her choices. They lived in modern mansions, drove luxury cars, and constantly badgered Grandma to live up to her status. When I decided to follow Mom's footsteps and become a nurse, specifically choosing hospice care, my extended family was baffled. Uncle Arthur cornered me at Thanksgiving when I was 21. "Chloe, you could work for the family business. Why waste your time on a career with such a low ceiling?" He swirled his expensive bourbon, looking down his nose at me. "Your grandmother could make one phone call and set you up for life.